So there's been a few, a little more public failures that startups have, some companies that were heavily funded and Homejoy and others that turned out to like start tanking quickly.
Yeah.
And really the main problem was not only the employees but the investors were kind of blanketed of what was going on.
Yep.
And it's hard for founders to actually talk about it.
Yep.
But what you've experienced, what you're saying is you just got to make it a habit from day one to get it out there.
Yep.
Here's the dirty laundry.
Yep.
We're figuring it out.
Yep.
Some issues here.
Yep.
But you can't just like, everything's good, and then, oh, by the way, we're closing shop tomorrow because we can't pay bills.
I tend to, this, again, my PR team might not like this, but I tend to be very negative. Like if we're friends and we're like,
you're negative?
I'm a very positive person when it comes to talking about my company. I'm usually the most negative. Like I'll be like, hey Nick, this is great, thanks for the beer. They're like, every friend and family asks me, how's Ghostwreck doing? Like, I'm like, oh, okay, we have an original question, but I understand, they all want to know. And I'm like, hey, we're doing great, but like any startup, we could be out of business in 6 months. And they're like, oh, yeah, are you trying to tell me something? But like in general,
that's the truth, right?
It is the truth, and like that's what I try to tell everybody. I'm like, look, I could telling you I could be doing great now and later. And that's what I do publicly. With my investors and with my board, I'm always the most negative. I usually am like that because it's a way better position to be at the end of a board meeting. You just finish your deck, and you're just like, so what do you think? And they're like, Nathanael, like this happens. It's not that bad. That's actually some pretty good stuff. Blah blah blah. And like that's just I would just rather just weed through all that kind of stuff, and you're better off in the long run. Like you think about the Homejoy people. I don't know them personally. I don't know that kind of stuff. But like it seems like so much was secret. How in the hell? I would never invest in them ever again. But if they were going through true difficulty and they were telling me like, look, we're gonna shut down next month and we've been telling you guys that for 9-12 months, I'd be like, hey, I can trust you with any idea in the future. Like it's just, there really is no logical reason to hide stuff. And if you really have to think through, think really deep and through that. The only thing that keeps people from sharing it is like this fear of failure.
Right, and failure, and I mean, if you open it up early, like, hey, we're seeing signs of some trouble, then you have more time for help and to right the ship. And I think it comes back to the industry and how they talk, the media, how they talk about failure, and how people are just so protected of their ego. And it's too bad, right? Like that
so
should
strange.
not.
Like as a lot of people like, oh, failure, don't want to fail, like, oh, it hurts, all this kind of stuff. But like, I'm always blown away about like how some of these founders, like how deep and personally, like if you ask a founder, if you actually really like, you have a couple of beers with them and you really talk about it, it's not just fear of failure. It's like they feel like they'll be discovered as a fake. And you're talking to like Harvard, Princeton, Stanford guys, and they're like, I've always thought like if I failed here, like everybody's like, oh, my degree at Stanford meant nothing. I'm just this fake. Like my dad's construction worker, and I never should. Like I'm incredible. It's like that's how deep it is because logically, again, it does not make sense why you wouldn't be open about it. Silicon Valley, some investors will only invest in founders that have failed.
Right.
Like so, you're like, why are you so afraid of this, and why are you hiding this stuff? The Silicon Valley is like one of the one places in the world where it's the best to do that. You still are, we have this high suicide rate for CEOs because failure is so hard. Like, dude, if you're in Germany, do you know in Germany it's illegal to be a CEO if you've had any bankruptcy? Like, now that's a place where I don't want to fucking fail. Now you can't do anything.
And I think
we're in the startup world in America. Like,
as an industry, we can continue to get better at, it's not, oh, failure is okay. Like, it's not that because it's not that we're minimizing.
No.
That we should be pushing hard to be successful, but it's not putting such a massive personal detriment on the fact that, oh, that didn't work. So, but I am so seasoned and I am experienced and I can go do my next thing. And I think that's what the industry can really get more, at least better at, is just like, look, You handled it the right way.
Yeah.
Let's go do the next thing.
Yeah, investors are much like parents. They want to see their kids succeed, and it hurts them when they're like, "Why didn't you tell me you were having problems in school? Like, I could help you, you know?" And like, "Why didn't you tell me?" So it's very It's a very parent-child kind of a relationship.
I wish we had more time, man. Cool. We got to close up. This is great. All right.
Thanks, Nick. It's awesome.